Welcome back everyone to another episode on Fitz-PSG. We have another unboxing today, and we have something that I have been looking for quite some time, and I know I am not the only one because they are extremely hard to find. The person that made this did not learn their lesson the first time they released the item, and as soon as you see what it is, you'll understand exactly what I mean by that. So we have something really cool. So the other day, I went into Gamestop, which I don't regularly do too much anymore. I buy most of my stuff elsewhere. I decided, since I was close to one and it was still early in the morning, we'd go ahead and try to see if they had any of the items in stock. Luckily for me, there were two of them sitting on the counter. I walked in and I saw them and I was shocked that they were there, because when you don't just see these items typically. So I walked up to the counter and said, "Hey, is that real or is that a display box?" Because I've been fooled by that before. I went into a GameStop before, and there was one sitting there. I'm like, "I want one, I want it," and they're like, "I'm sorry, that's just for show." So I figured that this was the same thing all over again, but to my surprise, it actually was real, and they had two of them. Limit one per customer, which I didn't care because I'm not selling it, I'm not reselling it. But what am I talking about? What item did I find? Give you a second. What's a really popular gaming item that you cannot find anywhere, that is sold out everywhere? It was the Nintendo Switch for a while. Thankfully, they are coming back in stock. You can find them a lot. My shirt should be a good indicator of what it is. Got this when I was in Nintendo World. So your time's up. What did I find? I was lucky enough to find one of the Super Nintendo classics. Now, if you're living under a rock and you don't quite know what these are, the other year, Nintendo released a classic edition of the NES, and it was very, very limited. It was a really cool idea. So it was almost like a reprint of the original NES cartridge, or not cartridge, console. And built inside, there are a whole bunch of original NES games. You just plug it into HDMI, and you turn it on, and everything is just to go from there. Now, you can make emulators, which I have done with Raspberry Pi, but, I mean, it's not quite the same as having a real console and everything like that. So, these are very hard to come by, and I was hoping Nintendo would learn their lesson, and that they would make more of them, because, honestly, this prints money. There are so many people that are into retro games that this just easily appeals to so many people. People that grew up with some of these games, they're going to want one. Kids want these. Adults that want to get their kids into gaming. These games are just so good, and I'm just so upset that Nintendo did not learn their lesson and they made these so difficult to find, because they are a little bit more expensive for the Super Nintendo version than the NES. But still, they're going for hundreds of dollars more than what they should sell for, because they're just so hard to find. Luckily, I found this at retail price, so I did not have to pay above scalping prices or anything like that, which I won't do. I will not pay for scalping price, but this will get loved and played. So what this one is, this is the Super Nintendo version of the system, and there are a whole bunch of games built into it, and one of the games, Star Fox 2, has actually never been released before. It's really, really cool. Apparently it was supposed to come out a long time ago, and it got canceled, and instead I think they turned those assets into a different game, and then they started working on Star Fox 64 instead, which is a really, really good game. So it kind of worked out for the best, but this has a bunch of games. Let me just kind of read you off these, and you'll easily recognize even a few of them if you don't really play games. So we got Contra 3, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby Superstar, Mega Man 10, Secret of Mana, Star Fox, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Castlevania 4, Super Ghost and Goblins, Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Yoshi Island, and Star Fox 2. So there are a lot. I don't know if you can see that or not from there, but there are a lot of very, very good games on here. You'll be hard-pressed to find something that you like that's not on here. There are some of my favorite games of all times on here. I would say Super Mario World, for me, is probably still my favorite game of all time. But there are also a lot of classics, like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Metroid. I played the crap out of those when I was a kid. The other thing that's really nice about these, besides all the games being just kind of easily accessible, the nice thing is the price. Now, it seems a little pricey. I think it's $80. But they did upgrade a little bit more this time. There's less games, but I'd say the quality is better. They did give 2 controllers this time instead of just the one, because there are a lot more co-op games on this one. But the thing that's nice is, even though it's $80, it is a lot cheaper than finding some of these games out in stores. Some of them you will never find. They're just so rare, and collectors know that, and unfortunately, you're going to pay an arm and a leg. So, say you want Earthbound, you're not getting that for a cheap price. So, this is a really, really good deal. Overall, very, very nice. So, let's get our unboxing knife, and let's open this up and see what's inside. I have not seen this yet. Oh, do I not even need this? Oh, get out of here, knife. You will not be needed. They only have a tab, which I guess is probably why these are locked up most of the time. And I feel like this should be like the reveal sound, like... Okay. Wish I could play like the Zelda. Maybe I could put that in there, like... Da-na-na-na-na. Okay, so what do we have in here? Box, not interesting, but we'll put you here. Oh, can't see it. I don't know cameras. Okay, so we've got some manuals. No one's going to read those. We have our... Oh, these are our controllers. Let's go ahead and open these up. Like I said, we get 2 of them now. So, controller 1, it feels like the exact same quality as before. Very, very nice. I think the plastic's a little bit different material. Oh yeah, definitely a little bit different material. And then on this end, we've got the connector that'll go into the system. And 1, and here's number 2. So we do have both of the controllers here. So those are both there. Those are both nice. And then really, really simple, we've got the HDMI cord, which this will go into your TV, so no more AV cables. We've got our Nintendo power brick, and we have the micro USB cord that this plugs into. So you just plug this into your wall outlet, and this goes into the system. Very, very simple. If you remember the old days where you had the AV cables, not anymore. So this is the star of the show. Let's put this to the side. This is what we all came here for. So this, my friends, is the Super NES Classic. Not much on the back, so we've got the HDMI and the power on the back. We've got the cartridge slot on the top, which does not open, does not move, just for show. We have the power button and the reset button. Surprisingly, the power button actually moves. Now, I don't know if that is actually going to work or not. I know it probably won't. It's probably, as soon as you plug it in, it's probably on all the time. But that is still there nonetheless. It's kind of cool. And I'm assuming the controllers plug into here in the front. So very, very, very tiny overall. Very, very cool. I like that. Now, let's show you a comparison. The old has all of these cables. So we've got the actual Super Nintendo power brick and the wall outlet, and we've got the AV cables and all this stuff. So, I mean, look at this compared to this. This is so much nicer. I can't even put into words how much nicer that actually is. And controllers. Let's kind of show you the controllers here. Let me unwind one of these. It looks almost identical. Obviously these are cleaner since they have not been used a ton. But I feel like the plastic is a little bit different. This actually feels a lot heavier than this one. Feels like it's a little bit better build, so it might hold up pretty well. And then the star of the show, let's take a look at the difference in size. So as you can see, it's not even funny how much smaller that system is. It is just ridiculous. I mean, I can fit that right on top of the actual console. I can fit 1, 2, 3, 4 of them right on to the same console. So it's impressive what they've managed to be able to put on there. It's just, honestly, it's like a little mini SD card in here, most likely. People have found ways to hack the old ones for the NES. I haven't read too much on the new ones, but I'm pretty sure people are probably doing the exact same thing on this system as well. So I thought that this was a really cool find, and I'll most likely play some of this for you for the channel. I'll fire it up at some point, and we'll play some of the classics. So let me know in the comments below, A, if you have one, B, what your favorite game was from the Super Nintendo, if you played it. If you had a Super Nintendo, what was your favorite game of all time that was on that system? I honestly would say, for me, the Super Nintendo is one of my favorite consoles of all time. The Dreamcast still holds a big place in my heart, but the Super Nintendo, I love that console. Let me know which one of these you want to see first, or if there's multiples and there's a lot of people that say they want a whole bunch of them, maybe I'll play a whole bunch, kind of give you guys what you want. That's what I'm here for in the channel. I want you guys to have a voice in the channel. Tell me what you want to see, and I'll try to make it a reality in the channel. So let me know in the comments if you liked the video, what you want to see, if you had one, what your favorite game was, all of that stuff. Until next time, guys, I will see you back here on the next episode of Fitz-PSG.